Good morning, Gail. Let's see what we can do with this. Bring it down a bit. Maybe. There you go. Hi, Philippa. Oops, that's not moving straight now. What are you doing, Tracy? Bring it down a bit. See how that works. I've just knocked it with my head, which was a bit silly. Let's see. Yeah, that's okay now. That's okay. Oh, it's nice and warm here today. All the Tweety birds are out. Lovely, just fed them all. So, hey Yvonne. Good morning. I hope you're all well. Today we are going to make this colour version. Oh, maybe no. I think I'll change it to purple because the one I sent Julie was pink. This one's looks pretty in blue, I think. So we're going to do a lilac or purple version of it today. Just to show you that it can look different depending on what colour you choose. Good morning, Jenny. Good morning. I'll just give it a minute before see if anybody else comes on. It's always a bit, when you do a half-10 in the morning one, you know there's not going to be as many on because they're all at work. So, hi Brian, you all right? Looks like you had a lovely time away, both you and Philippa. Lovely photographs that you've put up. Very jealous, I haven't been away for a long time. But I am going away in September, so that's good. I'm looking forward to that. Right, we've got a few more on now, so I shall make a start. So I thought this one is an easy one to do. A really, really easy one to do. So I'm also going to show you, because I do get asked a lot, how do you make a box? Do you make an envelope? You know, and if you do, which way do you do it? So I thought I'd show you how I do my envelopes. And you can do this for any size card. It's a really neat trick. You don't need an envelope punch board, although I do have one. I don't use it very much. I tend to do it this way. Morning, Andreen. Oh, only for the day. So, but I did go to Skipton for the day the other day. It was very nice. Yeah, it looked great. So, as I said, I'm going to show you how to do an envelope as well. So we'll crack on. So what I'm going to use for this is Julie's Postage and More. I'm going to use this Floral Delight set, but I'm only using this little small flower stamp here just to add these two in, and obviously the lovely Just Daisies. Yeah, so there you go. And I'm also going to use these beautiful Blooms dies, which just to cut out some outline in the flowers. So I'm going to use this one today. I've used the daisy kind of shape on this one, so I'm going to change the shape of it and use that one. So we'll pop all these to the side and we'll get on. So I've got here just an A4 piece of card which has been scored and folded in half, and I've cut myself a panel to go on top, which we're going to be working on, and that panel is 5.5 by roughly 8, so it's just got a little bit of a border all the way around it. So I'm going to pop them to one side now. I'll push this out of the way and get on. So first thing we need to do is, hi Pam, nice to see you too. So what we're going to do is make a background. So I have got the usual piece of acetate with a bit of washi tape on the end so I can see where my thing is without losing it all the time on my desk. And I'm going to use, I think I'm going to use Villainous Potion for a bit of dark purple. So I've got a piece of white card underneath it so that you can see how much I'm using. Probably won't need all that, but good bit of water. This is just super smooth card. That's all it is. I'm going to move that about a bit with my finger, and then get a piece of tissue ready to dab off the excess. And then I'm going to pop it down, move it about. I want it to be kind of backgroundy, so I don't want big splodges. So I'm going to take it off like I usually do. And now you can see, take some of this off here too. I want the watery part. I want to be able to see some of this at the side of all the embellishment bits I'm putting on. You can always add a little bit more, but I don't want it to be too dark. That's why I'm splatting it out. I like these little dots, so we'll have those, but I'm still taking off so that it's not too dark, because Villainous Potion is quite a darkish ink, darkish colour. So I could have used Wilted Violet, but I'm going to use Wilted Violet on the flowers, which I'm going to get ready now. So while that is drying, and pop it to one side and bring in some of the flowers that I'm going to use. Now all I've done is stamped out and then cut out 3 of the flowers. That's 1 of each shape. 1 goes left, 1 goes right, and 1's upright. And I've cut out 3 of these. Not sure if I'm going to use 3. Might only use 2. Don't know yet. But I'll bring this back in. Put a bit of water down. And as you can see, I've already added some green Inktense pencil to the leaves. So I'm going to start with those. Not too much water on the brush. You just want to even those out. Leave most of the colour at the bottom so it's already shaded for you. You don't have to do too much there. So all I'm literally doing is eking some of the colour out. Hi Mary Ellen. Just eking the colour out to get them leaves looking shaded already. And this is, as you've no doubt realised, my favourite way of colouring, because it's quick and I quite like watercolouring. So, but you can use anything to colour your flowers, as you know. Pencils, pro markers, your new inks that you've bought, metallic ones, they look quite nice. So it just gives, I'll try and lift it up without messing with the, I'll just check, see, you can see it gives the shading already without even having to try too hard. So, and that's why I like it. So now we need to put down some Wilted Violet. Now I think this is quite, oh no, we've got some in, we're happy. So I'll say it's quite dry. Just wet your brush a little. And I'm going to do all the flowers with a bit of a watery wash to start with. I usually have these done, but you know, it would have been a very uber quick demo if I had. So I'm just going to add some more around the top. I want this quite delicate, I think. You can always go back in and darken it up if you haven't got enough colour. So I might just do that, darken the edges up a bit, or the middle part, we'll see. I might even do it with Villainous Potion, who knows. But it's not too much of a worry to paint this way and colour them this way. It's quite an easy way of doing it. Hence why I like it so much. So I think I will put a bit of Villainous on, just a tiny bit, just to see how it works. Put a bit of water with it and colour that part there. Yeah, that's quite good. As long as you water it down, it's not too dark. There we go. It's very light, that one. There we are, that's a bit better. You just keep messing about with it really until you get the shade that you want. You know, not hard. So are you all going to be crafting today? It's really warm out there today. So I think I might just stay in my shed because it's in the shade at the bottom of the garden and do some crafting. That's the order of the day, I feel. There we are. A bit more on there. Darken it just a little. Kind of miss them edge petals. So you can go back and keep going. And because you're not using a great deal of water, it dries fairly quick. You're only using just a dab. So it's all going to be dry fairly quick to be able to put the card together. While I show you the envelope then as well. So we've kept these a little darker just to add a little bit of difference to the flowers. A bit more dark at the bottom. Oh, I look forward to see what you're making, Vanessa. Can't go a day without doing a bit of crafting, can you? It's the law. It would be rude. There we are. So I might need a little darker there. So let's pull up what we've got left and put some in there. That'll do fine. I mean, you can always add your glitters and your stickles and things like that. I'm just going to open the door because it's roasting. There we go. Stickles and all that kind of stuff. So the next thing we need to do is a little bit of stamping on the panels. Now I've stamped and already cut out using the large postage, well, a medium postage rectangle there. Yeah, I've done 5 of those. So what I want to do is choose the flower, I think. Yeah, I think we'll go with the flower. The biggest of the 2 little flowers that's there in the middle. I'm going to use the biggest one. It's tiny, but it's the bigger of the 2. So these silicone, I don't know, resin or whatever they're called. Resin things from Cardio are good because these are tiny. You can see through the top. But I quite like this one. I quite like this one. So I'm going to use that, pick it up, and I'm going to use, just to add a bit of darkness, this VersaFine Clear Fantasia. Now it is quite dark, but that's okay. It'll give a nice contrast to the lightness of the flowers. And I'm just going to stamp freehand 3 of these on each panel. Some you may see, some you might not see because of the way that you're going to place the flowers, but that's okay. It's just an extra detail on your card. It's nice to see some of them poking out, and if you want you can put some pearls on them as well, right in the middle where the centre hole is, sort of thing. And if you do a dodgy one like I've just done there and press too hard, then you can hide that one with a flower. It's all good. I always tend to press too hard and you really don't need to, not with Julie's stamps. So give that a little clean. And then we are good to put stuff together, I think. There we are. So we have the card, which is now dry. And we've got all of the little panels and we've got the 5 outline edges from the Beautiful Bloom set. Okay, so I'm going to need to get some stickies out. I think I'll use these because it's easier. So these are your strips of foam pad. Again, really good for your shaker cards, that kind of thing. I'll just trim them down to the size I need. This is what I like about these. You can just trim them and use what you want to use without having to use the whole strip. But these are good because they can go round corners and all that for your shakers too. So I quite like these. I don't mind buying these. I really don't like buying foam pads, but sometimes you really do need them, don't you? Right, so let's place these first. So we want 5 placed. So I'm going to pop these on first. And I'm not going to glue them down because the foam pads will tend to put them where I want them. And then I'll show you the little trick for gluing around the edges. So, I'm going to pop that one in the middle. And I'm hoping it's straight because I'm kind of sitting at an odd angle. The birds are great, aren't they? I've got big privet fences, hedges all the way round. And they honestly, the little tiny birds in there are just so lovely. So we're going to put that one there. As you can see, this is just a scrap piece of card I've used to stamp on these. I always keep the scraps. So number 3, try and equally space them if you can. Let's go in there. Number 4 will go there, and number 5 will go towards the top. Now you could do this one landscape or portrait, to be honest, because I'll show you in a minute once I put this one on. There we go. So if you turn it round, you could easily use it that way if you wanted to. So that's them 5. Now I've just got to think about the flowers. So the middle one obviously is going to go there, and it's going to cover that slightly dodgy thing that I did there, right? Okay. This one's going at the bottom. I'm going to trim some of this stem, I feel, like that. And this one is going at the top, that way. Yep, that looks good to me. So again, I'm going to need some of these foams just to give them a bit of lift, each one, a bit of dimension. And doing the dimension, it won't make any difference about the envelope as well, because the way that I do the envelope, you kind of do it around the card, so you're going to have enough room. It's like a squashy kind of thing. You'll see when I do it anyway. So pop that one in up there. Next one, not a difficult card to make, ladies. You can bang these out really quick, and gents. Yeah, and I like the background flowers as well. You just add a little something without too much taken away from your background, really. And also, I didn't do it on this one, but you can, I suppose, get any of your Julie Hickey background stencils out and put a bit more on if you want to. But we've making this with just the wilted violet and the lilac, but I think it, and the the villainous potion, but it does work. Works really well. It's kind of, these dark ones kind of bring your eye into the middle where your flowers are, which is, I guess, what it's meant to do. So I'll just put one on there. I'm going to pop this on. There we go. And then these, you can trim some of the stem off and just pop them in so that they're coming out. Now I'm not going to put foam on these. I'm going to glue these in. Little dots so that they're kind of flattish in there. I don't want to hide the leaves as such, so I think I'll do it that way. There's one. You might only need 2. Don't know yet. We'll see how it looks. I want one coming out from there as well, so that's kind of cute. Now, the third one, if you put that one at the top, it kind of, as you can see, it messes with the whole flow of it for me. If I put it in there, take some of the leaves off and put it in there, there's too many. So I am literally going to leave it at 2, I think. Yeah, you can, as I said, it's personal choice, isn't it, really? And then the other thing I've got is Scent with Love that I've stamped out from the Floral Delights set. And I'm going to pop it in there, but that is too long. So, again, a little bit of foam. add a bit of dimension, make it a little bit more interesting. There we go. Right, is there any questions? Yeah, I love privis as well, except yesterday it took me hours and hours to pick it all up because me son-in-law to be came over and cut all the hedges. I'm just deciding where to put it. I think I'll put it down there this time. Yeah, my son-in-law to be came over, cut it all, and then I picked it all up. It's only fair I picked it up, and it was really overgrown, so it took me all day. So there we are, that's that. I just need to glue this one properly, push it down properly. There we go. Now, these edges, I don't mind if they're loose, but some people don't really like a loose edge. So, if you get yourself a little bit of spare card, shove a bit of glue on it, then you can just press down. You don't get too many. Pop it underneath, press your actual embellishment on it. There. And then just press them down and they stick. Now, I did see a good tip the other day and I tried it and it actually works, but obviously before you put these on. So let me see if I can find it. Here it is. So these pastry brushes, really cheap, aren't they? Real cheap pastry brushes. So the tip was, if you trim it down straight across, I think I paid £1 for 3 of these, so I don't mind wrecking one. And then you can use that on your little tiny die cuts like this one that you cut out. If you put some glue down, you can pick up the glue on the end of them, and then all you've got to do is stab it on there, and it doesn't go all over the front. And I have used it this week. It puts little tiny dots on there. I have used that technique this week on the cards that I've been doing, and it works a treat. So that's a good little tip. Can't even remember where I saw it now. It's on one of those pop-up things that comes up on Facebook. So I've no idea where I saw it, but there you go. That's that. So there's the actual background part. Now let's put it onto a card. I'll put it on flat this time instead of with foam pads, and then I'll get onto the envelope. There we are. Yeah, it's a good little tip, isn't it, Julie? I like that. Of course, I had to go and get some of those things just to try it. You got it, haven't you? There we are. So that's the card done. Obviously, you can add glossies and all the rest of it to it if you so wish, but I like it just as it is. So now, the tip to make your envelopes. So, get your card, your finished card that you want an envelope for, and measure it from corner to corner on the diagonal. Okay, I'll just turn it over to make it easier to show you. So right at the tip of that one over to that one, and that measures 10 1/4. So in order to have a piece of card big enough, all you've got to do to make your envelope is add 1 inch. Okay, so that was 10 1/4. So I have cut a piece of white, I think it's 120 GSM Paper Mania. I've cut that to 11 1/4 by 11 1/4. Okay, so all you have to do now is eyeball. What we're looking for is roughly the same amount up there as is down there, and we want it fairly straight. You use it on the diagonal like this, but try and keep it as straight as you can. I'm just going to stand up to see if that's as straight as can be. I would say there, right? So I'll move it up a bit so you can all see. So now what you do is fold in the right hand side, but don't fold it too tight to there. Okay, just fold it with a little bit of room so that you know you've got room to put in your card, and press it down. Okay, and then do the other side as well. Not too tight, and this is going over the top of your embellishments, so you know it's going to fit when you put it in. And now you bring up the bottom. Check it's kind of level and press it down. And then you bring in the top. Again, check it's level and crease it. Okay, so once you've done that, you can see that it fits. Your card fits in there, no bother at all. So where these corners cross over now, you'll see a triangle. So if you trim out the triangle on all 4 sides, that'll take out some of the bulk for your envelope. Make sure that you take just the triangles. Okay. But you can neaten it if, like me, you're not great with a pair of scissors, because I'm not. Like that is dodgy, so I'm just going to trim that again. There we are. Get rid of them 4. To make this really nice, reinforce all of your sides with your creases. Okay. And then what we need to do is make this look a bit tidier. Alright. And that dodgy corner. I told you I cut dodgy with a pair of scissors. I'm useless. I kind of veer off to the right. I don't know why I do it. So, if you get your ruler, and these 2 points here, you want to cut that off. So fold that back, and then you can remove that. Or, alternatively, you can tuck it in and glue it down. Okay, there we are. And then this bit at the top here, I have a corner rounder just to make it look pretty. And like a normal envelope, take the bit off the top. But to make it even more special, what I thought I would do was, this is copier paper. So it's not going to be too thick, it's just copier paper. And I've stamped using the little tiny flower stamp all over it. And what I'm going to do is, we don't need this to go right all over. We don't need it. We only need it to tuck in as far as this, and it's going to make a nice little liner. Okay. So, get a pencil and draw around it. Hold in the sides, and then just draw around your sides as well. Now when you cut this out, cut it out just a little bit shorter than where the line is, so cut just on the other side of the line. Alright, I'm going to use this because, like I said, I'm not very good with a pair of scissors, so I'm just trimming that out. And you should have the perfect liner for inside your card to make it that little bit more, inside your envelope, I mean, to make it that little bit more special. Okay, let's see. There we go. There we are, a nice liner inside of there. So I'm going to glue that down first before I do anything else, and then I'll put it together. I mean, you could always trim that across and just put a piece on there if you want to, you know, it's up to you. I'm going to pop this in. I am going to put some across where that crease line is as well, because I want it to sit flat. I mean, these are just, these envelope liners are really just for special things. you just do them for your special cards. Okay, in we go, press it down. You can round the corner top tip if you wish. Just make sure it's got a nice little border around it. There we go. and press it down. Make sure it's right down. There we go. I know I've got a mark there, but you won't see that in a minute. It's pencil. I didn't do a straight line, so. There we go. There we are. Now, put your ruler in, because don't forget, this is still a bit wet. Where your score line is, across your top, and just give it a cross with your finger. Push it along with your finger. Now, here we go. One envelope done with a pretty liner. So it's time to glue it, and I would suggest you glue it around your card, and then you know that it absolutely fits. There we go. Across there, across there. That's all you need, and press it down. Now, for this bit here, the reason also that I left a thin border around the envelope is so that I can put in a thin strip of double-sided tape, and I do have some uber thin stuff here. So in order to close it, which I won't do obviously, but you put a thin strip of your double-sided on there, and then it won't interfere too much with the prettiness that you created on the inside. Okay, trim that off. I'm not going to take the sticky off, but when I'm ready to send it, obviously that's what I'm going to do. Now, to finish it, just make sure you take the excess sticky off. To finish this off, I'm just going to lay my ruler down on there to keep it down flat. I'm going to get the postage stamps out and the VersaFine Clay. Like I said, it's a very, very special card, only for special people. So, wipe off any excess ink. Make sure you've gotten the full stamp done, and then you can press the seal on the back. There we go. And then on the front, if you wish, you can stamp in a couple of the flowers or just one of them. I think that's pretty. We'll go with this one. There we are. We'll go with this. I'm going to stamp it in black, and then I'm going to colour it in purple. I may not colour it in front of you today, but I will finish it after the live. Let's see, what time is it? Oh, we're alright, it's only 11 o'clock. Happy days. So, big thumbprint there now, look. Hey ho. Just be careful when you're doing these. I'm going to put that in the corner. And now, because I have thumbprints everywhere, I'm going to cover them with some of those tiny little purple flowers that we used on the inside lining, just to make it work. And I'm going to cover up them rubbishy thumbprints and just hope that I don't mess up here. You could always put a little bit of, what are they called, stenciling on as well. There we go. And then colour in the purple flower. Might as well do it because it's only been half an hour. There we are. Lost the paintbrush. There we go. Colour this flower in purple, and then you've got a matching card that matches the inside of your liner also. There we go. Bit of green on there. And I guess you could do the same thing really on the inside of your card to match the envelope, and then you've got a total coordinating card and envelope. So, let's see. There we go. Move this lot out the way and bring the card back in. So, I'm going to show you the liner and the card. What I might do also is go over that again, so that when you lift it up, you've also got a full stamp. I'll do that with my stamp platform in a minute, and then I'll take some photos. So, there you go. I hope you enjoyed that, because I did. And use this technique of doing the envelopes, because it works for every size, obviously. So thanks very much for joining me, and I shall see you on Wednesday for the super launch. I'm actually at the hairdresser's, but I'm hoping that my signal is going to be good so I can join you both all. Well, yeah, these are a must, guys. These are a must. So thank you again for joining me. Have a lovely day, and bye for now.